حي على الفلاح. A doctor tells a patient, listen, you have a very serious... The patient says, no, don't finish that sentence. Don't tell me. If you don't tell me, I'll be fine. Because if you tell me, then I don't know, maybe I'll need surgery. Maybe I'm going to have to get heavy medication. So if you just please don't tell me at all, my life was just fine until you told me. So let's just, I'm leaving this office. I don't want to finish the rest of the sentence. In another situation, somebody's sitting at home and they're changing TV channels or they're watching their weather app and it says severe warning. Evacuate the city because in the next 5 hours, and you turn off the app, I don't want to hear this. So long as I look outside, the weather is fine right now. I don't want this guy to give me bad news. I hate the weatherman. He just keeps giving me bad news and I don't want to deal with it. If I didn't change this channel, my life was, if I didn't watch this channel before, my life would have been good. Thank God I turned it off in time. Does that sound like an insane person to you or no? A friend of yours in school says, hey, did you forget the exam is next? You say, no, don't finish that sentence. I don't want to know if it's next Friday or next 2 days from now or next month. Don't tell me, because if you tell me, then I have to study. Don't tell me. I don't want to deal with it. My life was fine. Why did you even bring this up? Save yourself. Why are you even looking at the calendar yourself? This is safer for you. This mentality doesn't work anywhere in life. Why? Because in life we are dealing with reality. And then you say, well, no, Allah is different because Allah is an authority. And so if I didn't know the rules, I can tell Allah on Judgment Day, Ya Allah, I didn't know the rules. That's why I didn't follow it. Right? Well, that way I'll get away with it. Because ignorance can be, you can plead ignorance. Actually, in the court of law, you can actually go to the judge and it's something called a defense. For someone who claims to be innocent, they can say, I plead ignorance. Right? So somebody was, they entered a do not enter. No trespassing. It says private property or something else, right? And they didn't see the sign, or the sign was covered by a tree or something. Or they were in a hurry and they didn't read the sign and they entered. And now there's a case against them. And they come in front of the judge and they say, I didn't know, I didn't see the sign. And they could actually plead innocent. They could get away with that. But let me give you a different example. You're driving a car. And you never wanted to learn traffic laws. You didn't want to learn about stopping at a red light. You didn't want to learn about stopping at a stop sign, speed limits. You didn't want to learn any of those things. So you're going through a few red lights, several car accidents have happened. Finally, the police catches you. You're standing in front of the judge before they throw you in jail for all kinds of chaos you created. And you say, I never learned these rules. But this is different, because if you never learned these rules, why did you get inside a car? Why did you get inside the car? If you think that you are capable of getting in the car, then that getting in the car comes with responsibilities. So actually, my life and yours is similar to the driver. The moment Allah put us on this earth, He put responsibility on us. The moment we became the age of adulthood, when we reached what the Quran calls balagha ashuddahu, when you reach that age, you and I become what's called mas'ul, responsible, worthy of being asked. Human beings will be asked on Judgment Day. يُنَبَّأُ الْإِنسَانُ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِمَا قَدَّمَ وَأَخَّرَ. I've given khutbah about that before. A human being will be informed in great deal about the priorities they made and the things they put off till later. We are not simply roaming for free and we have no responsibilities. أَيَحْسَبُ الْإِنسَانُ أَنْ يُتْرَكَ سُدًى. Did the human being think that he's just been left around without purpose? But when a human being thinks that they are roaming free, and if they find out that they're responsible, then the responsibility begins. Right? That's actually not the case. You're already in the car, you're already on the road, and if you say I didn't know, that can only work. That excuse can only work if you looked everywhere for the rules and you couldn't find anybody. And then you drove whatever way you could. And then you say, well, I tried my best to learn, but I couldn't find any resources, and that's why I messed up. Now you have a defense. There were people who lived at a time when there were no prophets. Before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there are people who were alive, And they didn't have Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They didn't have the Quran. Maybe they lived in a village where they never heard about Isa alayhi salam. They never heard about Musa alayhi salam. They never heard about Shu'aib or Salih or any of the prophets. They don't know anything about any prophet. Nothing. So they don't know how to pray. And they're looking and looking for an answer. And imagine for a moment that a person like that is looking for an answer and they die looking for an answer. They never found the answer. And Allah may question this person, even though that's not how the questioning will be. Why didn't you pray 5 times a day? Why didn't you do Hajj? Why? Well, it wasn't even revealed yet, or I didn't know. I had no idea. That kind of a person might even have a defense because they had no resources. They had no access to that. The way Allah will judge them, Allah knows. But for sure, Allah does not hold someone accountable when He didn't provide them with guidance. Right? Whatever guidance Allah provided that person, whatever opportunities Allah provided that person, Allah will judge based on that. So now come to you and me. You're talking to somebody about what Allah says, or they're talking to you about what Allah says, and you say, oh, don't tell me what Allah says. No, please stop. If you tell me, it's gonna weigh heavy on me. Now this attitude, first of all, the first part of this khutbah I wanted to highlight how illogical that is, how it doesn't make any sense. And how you're assuming that you're not already responsible when you think like that. So this thinking is wrong. I am already responsible whether I learned or not. The fact that I delayed my learning makes me more liable. It doesn't free me, it actually puts me in more trouble. And believe me, people have lived a life where they didn't want to learn, they didn't care. And later on in their life, something Allah put in their heart, they decided to start learning. And when they decided to start learning, instead of feeling more burdened, the truth of it is, you can ask millions of people that have gone through this experience. When they first started learning about their religion properly, you know what happened? First time, they actually truly felt free. They didn't feel enslaved or burdened. They actually felt freed. They felt freed from the chains of culture. They felt freed from the expectations of people. They realized they've been trying to make people happy when they should have only been concerned with making Allah happy. And making Allah happy is very easy. And making people happy is very difficult. They've been putting themselves in difficulty all this time. Then they realize that they've wasted so much of their life. They look back and say, I should have been learning this 10 years ago. I wasted so much of my time. Instead of saying, man, I wish I delayed another 10 years. I could have had another 10 years of freedom. When someone actually does start learning, instead of regretting it, they regret the time where they were in ignorance. That's what they regret. That's what a person actually regrets. That's the reality of it. But today, what I really want to dedicate this khutbah to is when you and I decide that we want to ignore something on purpose. We don't want to know because we're going to become responsible.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on the box at the top. If you want to see other videos, click on the box at the bottom. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.